Um, I wanted to make a video about suffering and why that is so important to God, apparently. It's important to God in many ways, suffering. It does many things. Um, Getting you close to Jesus, like very close to Jesus, suffering can do that. I can attest to that. It can. If you want to get really close to Jesus, suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer. He'll match you. So you're suffering together. See what I mean? See how you can get close to Jesus? You're suffering together, you and him. That's what he's been doing with me. Like no bullshit. like um he's he's matched me in suffering, obviously. He's matched me in suffering to this point. He's matched everything. It's impressive. It's impressive. For all the shit I went through. You know, I went through so much shit. I can't even put it into words. How Jesus survived it and came back, rebuilt himself to this point where I'm at. That's incredible to me. You know what I mean? At my worst, I wasn't able to make videos. At my worst, not even close. I couldn't make videos back then like this. I was gone. Locked up. You know what I mean? He can attest to that, I was so messed up I couldn't even pull off. I couldn't pull off getting off the planet even if I tried. You know what I mean? These days I could pull it off if I wanted to get off the planet, but back then I couldn't even pull it off. I was that gone, messed up. I couldn't even pull off taking myself out. Basically, that's a true statement. That's how much I suffered to my pinnacle of suffering. To that point, Anyways, enough about that. So, I'm still shocked. I am that Jesus has suffered as much as me. Even to this point, that he's suffered with me this whole way. Even today, I'm like, I don't think Jesus kept going, from this point. And then I read something about suffering, from many, many different places about suffering and how Jesus suffers with you. I'm like, damn it. Maybe he's still suffering with me. Sometimes I doubt it, I'm like, he's not still going with me. There's no way. But anyways, enough about that. But something I read was pretty interesting. God doesn't just yell words at you, you know what I mean? Like cheer you on to get you through suffering and your hard times. He doesn't just root for you from a distance. No. He's going through the suffering with you. Same damn time. Like he's fused with you. You know what I mean? The suffering's too hard for you to get through? No problem. God will jump in, suffer with you. I mean, make you stronger to get through. You know what I mean? He's aware of anybody suffering at any time. I have no doubt of that. No doubt of that. He knows the level of suffering I'm at right now. He knows this level of suffering you're at right now. Whoever's watching, he knows how much you're suffering right now. I have no doubt of that. Even if he doesn't cure you of your suffering, like in my case, he hasn't cured me, because he still sees a benefit, I guess, of me going through more suffering. It benefits God. And this is what I read, and I think it's true. It benefits God for him to allow you to suffer, because he knows the suffering I've been going through. There's no professional, there's nothing I can buy on the planet that can help me through this suffering. Not really. Maybe little band-aids here and there to get me through, but not really. I have to depend on God to help me fight through. God himself has to help me fight through. Against all odds, you know what I mean? Nothing on the planet, no professional I can see can help me get through the suffering. Not really. It's you and God together, basically. Nothing you can buy at the store to help you. Oh well, you don't have to suffer with God. Keep going. That's where I'm at every damn day. Sucks, I know. Just like I wish there was something at the store I could buy that could stop my suffering immediately. Nope. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. So, but anyways, I kind of see what God's doing. A part of me thinks like it's pointless to help me still, you know what I mean? I don't see myself as that valuable to God's purposes compared to other people would be, you know what I mean? But God also knows there's no one on the earth, not even close, that is as close to Jesus in suffering as me. I would bet $1 million on that. $1 million. You know what I mean? Like I said, amputated limbs doesn't mean anything compared to like your suffering of your body, spirit. You know what I mean? It's true. I was looking at someone in a wheelchair today. No bullshit. I knew I was suffering more than him. I knew it. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of shit. You're more spiritual suffering, body, mind, everything, than someone in a wheelchair. That isn't under as much strain. I'll say that much. That's what I'll say. And it's very obvious. Let me just say that. But anyways. So suffering's important for God's purposes. You know what I mean? God's crazy enough to allow me to suffer to a certain point of like, he's not going to quit. He'll keep going. He allows me to suffer to that point of like, he won't quit. He'll keep going. He does. I'm just like, apparently Jesus kept going. So I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it. Yeah, no sweat. But yeah. But yeah, that's probably the most impressive thing about Yahweh is his suffering. Constant suffering. He can suffer with anybody. You know. He's been through it all. He's been through it all. My horrific life, he's been through it. He's been through the horrors of my life. All of it, he's been through it. Not just been through it, but came back from it all the way somehow. Somehow he did it. And that's how he's guided me back to something normal, something human. He's as much as possible, you know. But I don't know where I'm going with all this. I don't really see a point to it a lot of the time. I'm like, how can I help anybody or live a life of any kind if I'm suffering like this every damn day? How could I possibly help anybody, help society? But God's like, you've helped so many people. What the hell are you talking about? You help so many people wounded as hell. You help so many people. What the hell are you talking about? That's what God's trying to tell me. I'm like, all right. just thought I should make a video about suffering. Because it does many things. It refines the gold, the diamond of what you are. It's one of the things that refines you is suffering. It is. That's what I'll say. Because that's what God's been trying to do. No matter how ugly all the things I went through in this life was, and it was ugly. Everything I went through to this point, it was ugly. Yeah. No matter how ugly it was a process to refine you the way God wanted you to be at the end of it all. You know what I mean? It's like no bullshit. Like I was watching the funeral over YouTube of the mother figure I had growing up, and I was friends with her children. You know what I mean? Some of her children, and one of them in particular was my best friend he was my first best friend in life. I'm like, God, why didn't you allow me to grow up like him? You know what I mean? I didn't grow up like him at all. I see him growing up as a normal upbringing, you know, the normal stuff to make a man, you know, and eventually have his wife, his kids, everything, the whole 9 yards, everything I've ever wanted. He got it. I never got that. You know what I mean? I was fucking suffering. That's what I was doing. God knows it. While he's having a normal upbringing, I'm getting abused. You know, across the street, you know, basically. When nobody knows, basically. That's what's happening to me. You know what I mean? But anyways. So yeah, a part of me is like, you know, because that kind of stuff has been thrown in my face so much in my life. Like, I'm like, that'll never happen for me. You know what I mean? God didn't give a fuck. So he clearly blessed the people around me, but not me. You know what I mean? Thought that my whole life, even to this day. No matter what God says, oh, I'm going to bless you eventually. I'm going to bless you eventually with what I blessed with the people of your past with years ago. What I blessed all the people you knew of your past with years ago. Everybody I already blessed with. I'll bless you eventually with what I've already blessed them with. That's what's going on here. That's why I'm like, I don't care. Just kill me, God. I don't care anymore. Way too late. Too little too late. You know what I mean? Should have defended me growing up or something, you know, something different. You know what I mean?